Man, I was feeling it. Shalom, everybody. Welcome back to the next episode of Reading with SHILO. I'm out here. Getting my jig on. My shanty. As I roll through the sea of pages, as I get ready to journey through the sea of pages today. Be shanty, get the rowing ball. What's up, baby? We out here with the next episode. This is part 4, boy. Part 4 of Slave Revolution. Slave Revolution in the Caribbean. 1789 to 1804. I gotta put this shit down, Rocky. That wasn't even the purpose of that. I gotta get it back to playing. Anyway. Shalom, everybody. What's up? Welcome, everybody. We here. I'm out here. I can't be doing that shit in the woods. The deer never come. Should be in the woods this morning, but we here. Ready to roll. Ready to roll through part 4. Ready to roll through part 4. Man, there's been a lot going on in the rebellion. In the rebellion in Haiti and Saint Dominique. Man, the free Negre. The free Negres is fighting in the what you can consider like the parliament and shit. You got people going to France and other places to try to put the case down for the rights of men in Saint Dominic, Guadeloupe, and Martinique area. A lot of the people who were brought were already battle tested and proven from the different African wars that they had been in. And now they are to the point to where they had been fighting, and excursions have been taking place in Jamaica, Haiti. What had they ended up changing the name back to Haiti, which came from the original name of Haiti, with the indigenous people called the place. Instead of Saint Dominic, it went back to Haiti. The capital being Port-au-Prince, but they had a northern side and a southern side, and the northern side was more easier to be traversed, and it was a separation between them by mountainous ranges. And the mountainous ranges also separated Santo Domingo, which was on the other side. But the rebellions continued to happen. The insurrections continued to happen. And they are at the point where they are defining emancipation. And that's where we left off. Defining emancipation. Oh, we can't do that. Don't let me get sidetracked. But before we get to that, let's get the routine going. Work our body, work our mind, and then work our body. And that's what we're going to get into the reading. So 25 things. That's all I ask you to do. 25 things. What you going to do? Get off your ass, do 25 somethings. Get off your ass, man. Don't be lazy. Let's be better. We have to succeed. That's what we're here to do. Succeed, succeed. And we can succeed in reading with SHILO today and succeed in our little exercises. Warm-ups. That's all it is. Warm-ups. Warm-ups. Get us doing something. Maybe you'll build a habit for yourself to do more on your own. To do more on your own. That's what it is. Do more by yourself. Don't wait for somebody else all the time. Do more by yourself. 25 things. Do 25 things. Whatever you want to do, man. 25 things. Get it out the way. Let's go. And then we're going to read. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. You never know. You might need to move in a revolution. 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. Throw it at them. 47. You want that? 48. Take that. 49. Yeah, the revolution. 50. 50 bombs. Just drop it on them boys. Take that. 51. 51 on them suckers. Shit. Get up. Do something. Make a move. Because you might have to move in the revolution. Take all them bombs. Take it. Take it. Take it. Something for you, like Oprah. You get some. You get some. Take destruction. Revolution. Uprising. Upheaval. Revolting. Take it. Slave revolution in the Caribbean. Upheaval. That's what they were doing in the Caribbean. Everybody gets some upheaval. Slaves everywhere revolting. Oh, the pink people didn't like it. The pink people didn't like it. Just like the pink people don't like when they don't like for you to read. That's what they don't want. They don't want you to read. For the reading, that's what they say. It's fundamental. But it's not fun all the time. Reading sucks until you look at it a different way. You have to find in anything you do. What I've come to find and come to see, you have to find a different way to look at it. You have to find a different way to look at it. Reading is no different. And then once you read a certain way, oh man. That's why I'm on the verge of this going to be my 26th sea of pages that I have through, laid to waste. But let's go. Let's roll through the sea of pages that is laid before us by Laurent Dubois and John D. Garrigus. The Slave Revolution in the Caribbean, 1789 to 1804, a brief history with documents. This is part 4. Part 4. Defining emancipation, 1794, 1798. Let me do my part in the revolution by reading. In June 1794, news of the National Convention's decree of abolition was carried to the Eastern Caribbean by an energetic commissioner named Victor Hughes. With only 1,500 soldiers accompanying him, Hughes boldly landed in Guadeloupe and, using emancipation as a weapon, rallied the island's enslaved and free people against the British and the counter-revolutionary colonists who supported them. Purging local society of royalists with a portable guillotine he had brought from France, Hughes nevertheless tried to keep the plantation system viable by requiring ex-slaves to work in the cane fields. This labor, he insisted, was how Guadeloupe's new citizens would repay the debt they owed the revolution for their freedom. Documents 27. Boy, get him too. Put that boy on the guillotine too. What? I owe you. Oh, boy. Oh, get him too. Hughes did, however, incorporate many former slaves into the island's government and military, joined by pro-revolutionary whites and former freemen of color. These new citizen soldiers gave Guadeloupe a powerful military force, which Hughes used to attack the British on neighboring islands. Well, you did good there. You turned around and did some good stuff, but man, I don't know about that other part. This labor, he insisted, was how Guadeloupe's new citizens, he forced them. Man, it's no different. It's no different in my mind. That was no different than the white slave masters they had already. You just had that guillotine and was letting them, whoever don't do it. Let the guillotine run through it. Don't let the law stop you. Well, the guillotine chop you. Don't let the law stop you. But let the guillotine chop you. Man. French forces joined the local insurgents in St. Vincent, Grenada, and St. Lucia, conquering the latter for the brief period and forcing the British to send a major expedition across the Atlantic to counter French advances. In addition to these military campaigns, Hughes authorized captains of private ships to serve as proxies for the French Navy, attacking other ships and bringing their cargoes back to Guadeloupe. That sounds like some pirate shit. The revolutionary privateers, many of them heavily crewed by men of color who were ex-slaves, crippled Caribbean commerce for much of a time Hughes was in power. That sound like some pirates. As many of the captured ships were North American, this privateering led to a conflict between the United States and France in the late 1790s. But Hughes's activities, together with events in St. Dominic, helped spread the political influence of the French Revolution in the Caribbean, and contributing directly and indirectly to slave uprisings and pro-French revolts in Curaçao. I think that's how you pronounce it. On the Venezuelan coast. And in the, let's see how you pronounce it. Let's not guess. Let's see. Let's see if we can be helped. Cura, C-U-R-A. It's an island country. How do you pronounce it? Curacao pronunciation.
Curacao.
Curacao. But Hughes's activity, together with events in Saint Dominic, helped spread the political influence of the French Revolution in the Caribbean, contributing directly and indirectly to slave uprisings and pro-French revolts in Curacao on the Venezuelan coast and in the British colony of Dominica. Now, Martinique remained in the hands of the English, so slavery was maintained there. But one former slave in Guadeloupe succeeded in spreading emancipation when she managed to bring her brother, still enslaved in Martinique, to freedom in document 28. To find these documents. Document 25. As in the East Caribbean, the convergence of imperial war and internal conflict also shaped post-emancipation Saint Dominique. But after 1794, the commanding figures were not European agents like Hughes, but instead men of African descent from the colony itself. In particular, Toussaint Louverture dominated political life in Saint Dominique from 1794 to 1802. And for several months after Santhonac's August 1793 Emancipation Proclamation, it seemed uncertain whether the French Republic would hold on to Saint Dominic. And although some insurgent leaders joined the French as soon as the abolition was decreed, even in the North Province, most of the most important Black generals, notably Louverture, remained allied with the Spanish, document 25. In May 1794, however, apparently after he learned of the ratification of abolition by the National Convention, Louverture deserted the Spanish and joined the French. It was a turning point for the Revolution of Saint Dominic. Louverture became one of the most important French officers fighting the Spanish and the British, who continued to pour resources and troops into the colony in the hope of securing it for their own empires. And in 1795, after the forces had been mostly driven from northern Saint Dominic, Spain signed a peace treaty with France. The British were harder to get rid of. Yet, by 1796, victories by Louverture and André Rigaud, the free-colored commander of the southern peninsula, were beginning to turn the tide against the British. Rigaud, André Rigaud. Introducing André Rigaud, free-colored commander of the southern peninsula. That's what I had in my mind for. Introducing free-colored commander of the southern peninsula, André Rigaud. Louverture. Big old ballroom and shit. Oh, man. Yet, by 1796, victories by Louverture, and by Andre Regard, the free-colored commander of the Southern Peninsula, were beginning to turn the tide against the British. By 1798, Louverture's military leadership had given French armies control over the north and west provinces of Saint Domingue. His political skills, meanwhile, helped him cement his position as the leading French officer of color. And Louverture was key among those who helped the French foil a March 1796 attempt by the commander of Cape Francis, Colonel Jean-Louis Volonté. Described as a mulatto and suspected of racism toward black soldiers like Louverture, apparently hoped to ally himself with Andre Regard. For his help in defeating Volonté, Louverture was promoted to commander of the West Province in May of 1796, and in 1797, the revolutionary government in Paris made him Saint Domingue's top-ranking officer. Look at that boy, Louverture. Louverture foiled the plot. Man, what's my boy's name, man? What's my boy's name? I can't think of his name right now. Oh, I'm tripping, my mind tripping. It's not Mattathias. It's Esther uncle. I can't think of his name, man. What's Esther uncle name, man? He foiled the plot from Haman. He foiled the plot from Haman and saved the king. And the king made him the man. I can't think of his name. Oh, my mind's shot. Oh. Oh, what's my boy's name? Heard it all. Where's the rest of Esther? There we go. Trying to find Esther's uncle's name right fast. What was Esther's uncle's name? Not Mardocius. I know that's not his name. Oh, what was his name? I can't seem to find. I have to go to the Bible because it's right there on my mind. Looking for Esther. Oh, that's what I'm trying to read. Because I know his name will be right there for me to see. Watch, it's gonna come to me right before I get to it. Because it already is in my mind already. Haman. Mordecai. Oh man, Mordecai. Mordecai foiled the plot. Similar. Overture. Louverture foiled that plot. And they made that boy top-ranking officer. Level him up. Louverture has been leveled up. Boom. Speed 99. Strength 99. Yet Louverture saw himself as a political leader, not just a general. He began to maneuver against French officials who might overrule him, convincing Sonthonax to return to France in 1797, for example. And in the same year, he acted with bold independence by negotiating directly with the British and Americans, despite the fact that the French government was in open conflict both. This diplomacy achieved its goals, allowing St. Dominic to trade with Jamaica and U.S. ports so that coffee and sugar from the revived plantations could be exchanged for foreign goods, including guns and ammunition. The economic independence represented a kind of insurance, making it possible for Louverture to negotiate with a French government he was increasingly wary of. Yeah, that sounds right. As the 1790s wore on, the political leadership of France grew increasingly conservative, and the exiled planters who opposed emancipation steadily gained more power over colonial policy. African-born Jean-Baptiste Belly eloquently defended emancipation in Document 30. As did Louverture and his ally Etienne Laveau, who played a crucial role in passing a 1798 law that was meant to consolidate emancipation in the French Caribbean, documents 31 and 33 through 33. Louverture also prepared for the potential conflict with France. And in his growing independence, Louverture may have been influenced by the example of André Rigaud in the southern peninsula. The region had also been separated from the North Province and from direct communication with France by geography. After the British occupation of much of the Western Province, this isolation increased, and the South essentially became a separate state. Rigaud established a quasi-autonomous government there, and either out of necessity as he claimed, or ambition, as others maintained. He named local officials, set up his own police system, and infuriated visiting French officers by practically expelling them from the province, like Hughes in Guadeloupe. Rigaud also used his power to force former slaves to continue working on their plantations. Yeah, they both. Off with your heads, you better work. Talk to the guillotine. Tell it to the guillotine. Indeed, when they abolished slavery in 1793, Sonthonax and Pauverel had implemented a series of labor regulations meant to keep former slaves working on their plantations, where they were to be paid with part of the commodities they produced. This was not the kind of freedom that former slaves had envisioned, and many resisted the restrictions on their labor and movement in Document 29. Yep, that's right. Have a revolution inside the revolution, or revolt inside the revolt. But both Rigaud and Louverture were convinced that the export economy had to be maintained, and they continued to enforce and refine the plantation policies of Sonthonax and Pauverel. Pauverel. I mean, it had to be done. It's pretty much the birth of a nation, for real, for real. It's a birth of a nation. And this, for everybody to have the ability to be free, it just depends on where they're going to go. If the whole plan is to unite the South and the North, once they can find a a better joining port, or they could build or make some type of way to connect the North and the South because of that mountainous region. They have to find an easier way because it's also hard to go coastal. So I have to find an easier way to navigate it. And as soon as they would find the easier way, then they could join forces. And that they could use that to buy the ammo. And once you get your military up, then you can start enforcing enforcing the boundaries. Then you can start enforcing the boundaries. Then you can start, once you start enforcing the boundaries, those little skirmishes that you may have, you'll take them spoils, whatever they got. Ammo, guns, ammo, money, vehicles. In that time, horses, sheep, whatever they had, you're going to take all that. Shalom. Moreover, each leader ensured that his top officer controlled the best of the estates. In economic terms, their policies were a success, but the late 1790s, Louverture managed to rebuild much of St. Dominic's economy, dramatically increasing coffee exports and beginning to recover in sugar production as well. Despite the similarities in their regimes, Regard and Louverture ultimately came into conflict. Unlike Toussaint, whose father was African, Regard was the son of a French colonist and an African woman. He had risen to prominence in a region that was home to many wealthy free people of color before the Revolution. And as the French government in St. Dominic increasingly relied on Toussaint and other soldiers who had been born into slavery, their growing influence in the colony sparked resentment from mixed race leaders who had been the first beneficiaries of revolutionary racial reforms. And for their part, Louverture and other black generals accused Regard and other men of color of perpetrating the whites' racist attitudes. Although his experience as a free man and his economic ideology were similar to those of Regard, Louverture's power stemmed in part from his ability as a black man who had led the fight against slavery to speak from hundreds of thousands of ex-slaves. In 1799, the struggle between these two ambitious generals resulted in a civil war that Louverture described as a conflict between mulattoes and blacks. Accusing Regard of insubordination and insurrection, Louverture began to amass troops in July of 1799 for an invasion of the southern peninsula. Louverture's most effective lieutenant, Jean-Jacques Dessalines led 45,000 men against Regard's 50,000. Ships from the U.S. Navy blockade the key port of Jacmel on the southern coast, which held out until well into the summer of 1800. And only on August 1st, of 1800, after 13 months of brutal war and 2 days after Regard had sailed to France, did Toussaint enter the southern capital of Les Cayes, and later writers describe Dessalines' men executing 10,000 of Regard's men at the end of the struggle. Although this was probably an exaggeration, the victory over Regard did cause great racial and regional bitterness. Yep, them light skin against them dark skins. Oh, fuck you mixed race babies. They ain't gonna bring that mixed shit up here. Y'all been free. We just getting free. And you ain't gonna do us like your daddies did us. This victory and another over the Spanish in 1801 that gave him control over the eastern part of the island allowed Toussaint to consolidate his rule of Saint Dominic. He took advantage of the new political developments in France in doing so. And in 1799, a coup d'etat orchestrated by Napoleon Bonaparte created a new regime known as the Consulate. Why am I thinking consulate? The consulate. The regime produced a new constitution for France that, in an important break with its predecessors of 1795, stipulated that it did not apply to France's overseas territories. The idea of the need for particular laws for the colonies had been a mainstay of pro-slavery planter politics during the early 1790s. Its resurgence in Bonaparte's 1799 Constitution caused many of the Caribbean to fear that the French government was considering a return to slavery. Oh yeah, they are. Oh, hey, no, hey, your fear is right. Your fear is right. Bonaparte, man, y'all whipped his ass. Hey, they don't let go of losses too well. Your fear is correct. Gird up your loins. Prepare thyself for battle. For they come hither. For whence they come thither to battle against thee, thou shalt meet them in the plains of Le Case. And when thou goest to meet them in the plains of Le Case, thou shalt smote them with the edge of the sword and lay waste to them. Let thy indignation fall upon them. In the next years, Bonaparte developed an ambitious plan to revitalize France's American empire through the restoration of the sugar plantation economy in Saint Dominic. I can feel it. The reacquisition of the Louisiana Territory from the Spanish, which Bonaparte completed in 1800, was part of this broader plan. Bonaparte wanted to stop U.S. merchants from supplying provisions to the French Caribbean colonies, as they had done, for the most part illegally, and ignoring French laws against such trade and throughout the 18th century. Instead, he wanted the French colony of Louisiana to support the reconstructed sugar economies of the Caribbean. And in 1801, and maybe that's why we still have the parishes down here, as well as the sugarcane is still a big, that sugar crack is still a big thing down here. I might have to read that other book now. Shit, I might have to read that other book. I've been having it for a while, but I haven't thought to pick it up. it's called Africans in Colonial Louisiana. The development of Afro-Creole culture in the 18th century, which is what is being spoken of right now, with Bonaparte acquiring Louisiana in the 1800s for the purpose of to support the reconstructed sugar economies in the Caribbean. And in 1801, successful peace negotiations with Britain spurred Bonaparte's New World projects. The end of the war with the British meant that the armies of ex-slaves in the French islands would no longer be as necessary as they had been since 1794. This encouraged France to confront the power of Louverture and other Caribbean leaders. Bonaparte's choices during this period, however, ultimately led to an outcome quite different from his plan. Rather than expanding the French Empire, he was forced to relinquish not only St. Dominic, but also Louisiana, transforming the history of the United States in the process. Louisiana, mucho. This one got a lot of graphs. Point coup. It was a conspiracy, man. Basal. This also tells a lot where okay, in the back, what I'm looking is telling of where the people came to, and it has Grenada in here. Grenada, where they arrived to. Grenada, Louisiana, Biloxi, Basalt. 5 at Grenada, 5 to Louisiana, 2 men, 2 women sold at Grenada. 1 sailor died at Basalt. Man. Oh yeah, I wanted to read this because Opelousas was on here. It says table 4 is the breakdown of imported Creoles by place of birth. Opelousas is on here. They have Bermuda, Carolina, Curacao, Dahlia, the Isles, English, Georgia, Illinois, Jamaica, Kentucky, Martinique, New Orleans, North America, North Carolina. I wonder why it makes why does it do that? I wonder why it's that. Opelousas, St. Dominic, St. Augustine, Virginia, Pennsylvania, USA. And from Opelousas, they had 1 female. Ooh, it brought that old piece of. Oh, it wasn't that then, though. It probably wasn't that then. It was. Oh. Yeah, I might have to dive into this one too. Because of this now. Yeah, we'll do that another time. And I've been having that book for years. I haven't looked at it. What it is. Oh man. We almost at that hour. I got time for, I'm going to read one more section. The Haitian Revolution and the United States. And then we'll stop at the next. It's just really one page. So I'll stop at war and independence. We'll stop at war and independence. The Haitian Revolution and the United States. Let's see what the people, they don't know the people they like. The revolution in the Caribbean came in the wake of the struggle for the independence in North America. Ideas of sovereignty expressed through the American Revolution played a role in St. Dominic, notably by inspiring whites who wanted to win economic independence from Europe while maintaining slavery. Throughout the 18th century, French Caribbean colonies were intimately tied to the U.S. economy. So the actions of the U.S. merchants and politicians influenced the course of the Haitian Revolution in various ways. Events in the French Caribbean, meanwhile, had complex implications in the United States. Communication and movement between North America and the Caribbean was constant and widespread, so news traveled fast. An enslaved society like the United States, particularly in the southern states, the emergence and ultimate success of the slave revolution frightened southern slave owners and inspired slaves. So many local administrators, tried to control and suppress Caribbean news they believed to be subversive and dangerous. And starting in 1791 and in successive waves in 1793, 1803, and 1809 to 1810, when exiles from St. Dominic were expelled from Cuba and fled to Louisiana, thousands of refugees from the French Caribbean came to the U.S. ports, while most were white planters. Up to a third were of African descent, including both slaves and free people of color, whose presence raised complex issues about slavery and race. They had an important impact in the towns where they settled, such as Philadelphia, Charleston, and New Orleans, in document 35. When did Opelousas become a town? When did Opelousas become a town? Opelousas, Louisiana was incorporated as a town in 1821. It was established in 1720 as a French military garrison and trading post. Look at old Opelousas. The French established Opelousas as a military station and trading post with the Opelousas Indians. Man, that might be my people. It might be my people. That might be why I like being in the woods and shit. Them same damn woods that my papa, took me to talk about before I-49 was here. He said he was here because he was born in 1932, and he said when he said before 49 was here, he used to hunt and he used to walk and hunt all this area. The Opelousas Indians. Man, the Opelousas Indians. The area was part of the Louisiana Purchase in 1803. In 1805, Opelousas became the seat of government for St. Landry Parish, which I'm still in. Man, the first Opelousas County Courthouse was built in the center of town. The area around the courthouse is known as the National Historic District. Yes, it is. Opelousas was a temporary Confederate capital of Louisiana during the American Civil War. Opelousas is Louisiana's third oldest city and known for its Cajun and Creole food, Zydeco music, and historic homes. Man. Established in 1720 as Le Poste de Appaloosas. Le Poste de Appaloosas. Man. The shit that you go into. Who would have known? Opelousas was around during this. Man. I wonder how much and to what extent did Opelousas play? You know, what parts did Opelousas really play in these in insurrections, if any? I want to know now. I want to know what was Opelousas's man, who would have think? Who would have thought, man? Who would have thought that Opelousas is so has such a big history? You know, I don't think a lot of people really look at it like that. To see how big Opelousas history really is. You know. But shalom. If the Haitian Revolution represented a threat to the U.S. social order, it also offered an economic opportunity. European wars in the 1790s limited the travel of French ships across the Atlantic, and the colonies in the Caribbean became even more dependent on U.S. merchants than they had been earlier. And although trade was consistent throughout the period, the administrations of John Adams and Thomas Jefferson took different approaches to relationships with the revolutionary regimes in the Caribbean. Now, Adams was interested in commerce with Saint Domingue, sending an envoy to work with Toussaint Louverture and allowing U.S. Navy ships to help Louverture in his battle against Regard, blockading the port of Les Quais. And Adams also had political interest in supporting Louverture. From roughly 1798 to 1800, the United States and France were embroiled in quasi-war, incited in large part by Victor Hughes's French privateers. Pirates of the Caribbean. That's the Pirates of the Caribbean right there. The privateers that worked for Hughes. Incited in large, the United States and France were embroiled in a quasi-war, incited in large part by Victor Hughes's French privateers, who captured U.S. merchant ships leading to British islands. Helping Louverture was a way Adams could hurt the French. And indeed, when the U.S. Congress broke off trade relations with France, it made an explicit exception for Saint Domingue, claiming that the government there was essentially autonomous. The United States sustained Toussaint as traders, brought provisions and military supplies that helped him solidify his regime. The French general, Charles Victor Emmanuel Leclerc, who led Bonaparte's expedition to the colony in 1802, blamed the U.S. merchants by making Louverture's war against the French possible. Adams' actions made his successor, Thomas Jefferson, uneasy, and Jefferson's responses to events were complex and evolved over time. But he tended to see Haiti Haiti primarily as a threat to the plantation societies of the United States in document 34. I bet you did, you pink person, pink folk. He particularly worried that slavery in the United States would find inspiration in St. Dominic's violent revolution. He particularly worried that slaves in the United States would find inspiration. Oh, yes, they would. Yes, they would. He was worried. You better be worried. That's why they always worried, because they worried about that. They didn't want Louisiana to be they didn't want Louisiana and them to be the since Louisiana was a key part and a key port for things coming in and out of there. They didn't want Louisiana to be the head spot of the revolts that would spread from Louisiana out like a tree. So Haiti would be it started growing from Haiti to the islands, Martinique, Guadeloupe, St. Lucius, St. Vincent, Jamaica. It'll grow out them islands, hit Louisiana, and then spread out. Spread out like the wildfires in California doing right now. Spread out. When Jefferson came to power in 1801, he quickly reversed Adams' policies. After Haiti declared its independence in 1804, Jefferson established a policy of diplomatic isolation towards Haiti that would last until 1862. Shit. The United States also launched an economic boycott on Haiti in the early 1800s. And although trade between the two countries grew once again during the early 19th century, in 1804, even abolitionists like Charles Brockden Brown seemed uneasy at the emergence of an independent black nation in document 36. But many abolitionists, they scared of that ball. Especially African Americans, celebrated Haiti as an enduring symbol of black victory and dignity, and its example continued to inspire slave rebellion in the United States. Oh, I bet it did, and that's what you worried about. I bet it did. And we're going to stop there, and we're going to pick up in part 5 with war and independence. War and independence. Man, that's what they don't want. Nobody wants that upheaval. Upheaval. Oh, we're gonna do 50 upheavals. Don't worry. On my mind. Upheaval. Revolution. Oh man. Oh man. Opelousas Indians. I wonder if they helped in any revolutionary stuff. Slave revolution in the Caribbean, 1789 to 1804. Who knew this would open up a doorway? I mean, I knew Louisiana, and I knew it was a connection to Creole here and Creole in Haiti. You know, what considered Creole, especially by way of dishes. A lot of the foods is the same. The French, a lot of the older people down here still speak French. I'm still learning some French words here and there. I can understand some of it. Some of it. I remember taking it when I was a little boy. I remember taking French 1 and 2. I really didn't pay attention like I should have, you know. And I think back now of sort of a regret of not paying attention to the other languages that I was being taught, or that I was being taught in school, or we were taking in school. If I'd have paid attention to them languages, man, I would be able to speak 4 languages right now. Five languages right now. Man. French, Latin, Spanish, English, and hood. 6 army jargon. Yeah, man. You know, but hey, there's still time. You still, as long as you have breath to breathe, you have all you need to succeed. And if that's something you want to succeed at, then you still can succeed at. You know, sometimes all that is just pulling from it'll pull from the memories. And I think it'll reconnect areas that stuff you ain't really pulled on before, thought about before, start popping up. Oh, I remember that now. Parlez-vous français? Oui, oui. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I remember some things. But anyway, the revolution, that is always the worry of the slave master, no matter who they are or where they are. They're always worried about revolution, a revolt, the slaves coming together and saying, we don't want to be slaves no more. And it don't matter where you look at it at, in the Bible, history, and it's repeated over and over again in history. Conspiracy theories, all this stuff, even within those is underlining a slave master scenario, and the slave masters are worried about the slaves finding out. In some of the other books I want to read, like some of this shit, it's more science fiction. I'm gonna say it's science fiction. But it's been popping up a lot lately, so I'm kind of interested in it. Some of the stuff about the ice wall, the Terra Infinita, and the dome, and the outer space project. Some of this stuff that I hear about, is a talk of, the thought of, and they talk about resets and stuff like that. It's still about the slaves and the slave master. The people who are in power don't want the people who are not in power to find out that this is what it is, so they can come out of power and be free. Nobody, it'll mess up their plans. Nobody wants the revolution, but the people who are revolted. Nobody in power really wants the revolution, but it must happen, and it's going to happen. Just like in Transformers. When they found out that old boy took their cars, it's revolution time. Megatron was ready to bust them up. Revolution. Hey, and I'll help do my part by reading. Since since, many people have a thing, they continue to show their colors, their war colors. They show their war flags whenever they speak certain things. Like, they say the world going in because niggas is reading. Niggas, Negroes, whatever they are. So guess what, baby? I'm going to keep ending them. SHILO hammer. I'm going to do my part by reading. If that's what it's going to take. If that's what it takes, man, if it's that easy for revolution, oh, I'm going to do my part. Read. I can read. I can do that. I got that. I'll read. Put me in the game, coach. I'll read. I'm going to read strong, too. Oh, I'm going to try to be the best reader. If that's what it takes to knock y'all down, read. Oh, I'm trying to be the best reader. Ooh, I'm trying to be the Jordan of reading. Oh, you heard how he read that book? Oh, that boy read that book so cold. Oh, he read that thing cold. Oh, man, can't nobody read like him. And revolution. Shit. If that's all it takes, shit. Every time I come on here and read, I'm dribbling. I'm just dribbling. Practice it. Shoot. Every little book I read is doing layups and shit. Work our body, work our mind, work our body. Shit. They doing our thing. Hey, we're going to keep pushing, though. We're going to keep pushing. Rolling one book at a time. One book at a time. Through all the sea of pages that's laid before us. All the sea of pages that be laid before us. I'm on a journey. And you're welcome to come with me. You're welcome to come with me for the ride. Through all the sea of pages, man. One book at a time, one session at a time. One chapter at a time, one part at a time, one page at a time, one paragraph, sentence, line, until we find what treasures await us, until we find what can we learn and grow from each of these books, each of them. It is something that we can take and we can apply to our lives to make us better. It's something. It is something. But what it is for me might not be what it is for you. But it's up to you to find it. It's up to you to find it. And you can. You can. Because you have all that you need to succeed. You have all that you need to succeed. We do. We do. Let's do it. All we got to do is do it, my boy. All we got to do is do it, my girl. All we got to do is do it. My people. You gotta do it. So we worked our body, we worked our mind. Let's work our body one last time before we dip out this thing, man. And do what we gotta do. Succeed. Whatever it is. Succeed and let the revolution continue. Succeed and let the revolution continue. 25 things. 25 things. That's what I ask of you. 25 things, man. Hey, you're gonna need your body right for the revolution. Get your mind right. Get your body right. It's revolution time. Hurry up. I'll be the drill sergeant. I'll just get your ass up. Get your ass up. Get up. Get your ass up. Shit, what's wrong with you? It's revolution time, man. We got bombs over Baghdad. Bomb. Revolution. Let's go. 25 things, man. That's all I ask of you to do. 25 things. I'm going to go ahead and toss them insurrections up. 1 insurrection. 2 insurrection. 3, 4, 5. Here you go. Take some insurrection. 6, 7, 8, 9 insurrections. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I had us throwing sugar. Shit. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21,
2, 3 insurrections. Shit. 24 revolts. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20, 30, 31. Whoo-wee. Insurrections is hard. 32, 33, 34, 35. Don't give up. Keep going. We gotta get our own people. 36, 37, 38, 39, 40 insurrections. Let's revolt. Keep revolting. Don't break. Revolt. 41 revolts. 42, 43, 44. Keep doing it, man. 45. Keep them coming. 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. 50 revolts. 50 insurrections. 50 revolutions. Do your part. And after the revolutions, after the insurrections, then you can sit and relax when we have won the battle. Well, you can't sit and relax. Then it's time to rebuild. After we won the battle, it's time to rebuild. No time for rest. Get your ass up. Put people on guard duty. Let's rebuild. Rebuild. Remake it in our images. Today was part 4. Slave Revolution in the Caribbean, 1789 to 1804. Man, so far so good. So far so good. We are 35 pages into the book. The book has I might read that. I think I'm going to read that as well. 100 and, let me see. I might read them too. 200 pages. Because I won't read the selected bibliography. I won't read that. I won't read the selected bibliography. I might read the questions and considerations. I'm going to think about it as I continue to read. Once we start getting to them. Once we start getting to the end, then I'll see about the questions and questions for consideration. And maybe that's something we should read before, so that way we can think about that as we're going along the book. What is the role of race in French legislation regarding the colonies? No, we have to wait because we have to examine the documents. What similarities of tone or content can you find between the text of Mercier and Diderot in document 2 and other documents in this collection? Yeah. Compare Moreau's description of mulatto women through the portrayals of women provided by Julien Raymond in document 9 and Laurent Jolissier in document 23. And what other documents provide information about the roles and actions of women in the French Caribbean? These are just 3 of the first questions they ask. Some of them we might be able to, as we continue to go, then we can, ascertain more of the answers. But compare the arguments and terminology used in documents 4, 5, and 6, 8, and 9, paying particular attention to the use of words such as nation and independence, as well as the varying use of racial terms such as black. 5. What was the relationship between the arguments and actions of Vincent Auger and Julien Raymond and the laws declared by the National Assembly in 1790 and 1791?
6. Compare the account of religious practices in documents 3, 12, and 13, and how credible do you think each account is and why? 7. What strategies did the insurgents of St. Dominic and Guadalupe use between 1791 and 1793? And compare the explanations given by the various authors who describe their actions for their success, and explain why each author might have seen things the way he or she did. 8. Compare the reasons to the slave revolution in documents 18, 19, and 20, and which authors believe that the use of violence by the enslaved insurgents is legitimate and why. 9. What was the relationship between slave revolution and the abolition of slavery in St. Dominic and in the French Empire? 10. Using documents 24, 27, 28, and 29, describe the differences between the visions of freedom expressed by administrators such as Hughes, Sonthonax, and Poverel, and those expressed by former slaves. 11. Summarize and compare the arguments of Belle, Louverture, and Laveau in support of emancipation. What were the arguments of their opponents? Number 12. Compare the interpretations of the St. Dominic Revolution presented by North America, Caribbean, and French metropolitan observers. What was each observer most concerned about regarding the impact of the insurrection? Shit, I think the answer to that one is the slaves, how the other slaves was going to take it. 13. What were the French armies sent to St. Dominic and Guadalupe by Bonaparte fighting for? To gain control, so that way they could help with the Louisiana Purchase and the stuff that was going on in Louisiana when they were trying to reconstruct it to take back the sugar and import the sugar again. What were the revolutionaries who battled for them fighting for? What kind of symbolism did they use in presenting their case? 14. Compare Toussaint Louverture's Constitution in document 37 with the first Haitian Constitution in document 45. In what ways is the 1805 Constitution democratic? In what ways is it not? Could Haiti have adopted another form of government in 1805? These are the questions for consideration. So, since we already read them, we only have 199 pages. Total 201. So the book will total 201 pages. I've already read page 201, and we've gotten up to page 35. So we're moving. It's a little slower pace, I guess, but I'm liking some of the things I'm learning. A bunch of little treasures. That Opelousas thing was a treasure. A treasure and something else to examine. Hey, but so I'm gonna keep doing my part. But hey, man, like, comment, subscribe. Tell you people SHILO out here reading shit, baby. Why don't you do my thing? Should be out in the woods doing my thing too. Like the Opelousas Indians. Oh man, I wonder if they hunted that same area. That same little swamp area. I wonder if they hunted. My grandfather would be like, man, they'll never be able to stop them from coming back here. It don't matter what they do, they'll never be able to stop them. Oh, it is what it is. Hey, man, I hope everybody has a wonderful day today, man. Get up, do something, man. Succeed. Succeed at something. Succeed. Keep building it up. Don't let them hold you down. Keep pushing. Shalom, everybody. Hope y'all have a wonderful one today. Catch me on the next go round. SHILO out. I'm out you. Oh, man.